All right, a day after the Senate passed it, President Obama signed off on a bill extending cash for clunkers. The rebate program began July 24th with $1 billion in the tank. About a week later, all gone as people pushed, pulled, or dragged their older cars to the dealers. The Department of Transportation says it has recorded almost 185,000 sales so far, and the White House expects today's $2 billion refill to last at least until Labor Day. So what does this extra couple billion mean for the people buying and selling the cars? We're checking back in with Earl Stewart. You remember him. He's a Toyota dealer in Florida who is selling a lot of cars under this program. Good to see you. Also, he's joined by CNN personal finance editor Jerry Willis in New York, who has some advice for consumers. So, Earl, let me begin with you. You enjoyed the last month of huge sales, really exceeding your 2008 sales. So now that there is additional money in the tank of this cash for clunkers, what do you expect this next month to be like?
Well, Frederica, it started out like we couldn't believe. We had a showroom full of people this morning. I thought there might be a little slump because people were rushing in anticipation of perhaps the Senate not passing. But with the new $2 billion, we're still extremely busy. Our August is off to a record. We have sold about 50% of the cars that we would normally sell in the month of August in the first 6 days.
Interesting. So people are ready to buy. They lined up as early as this morning, not necessarily just to look, but they're qualifying. They have the cash or money in hand to actually get a new vehicle.
Yeah, Frederica, one of the most surprising things about this whole program to me was so many people with the clunkers, with the older low-priced cars that have good credit. There are a lot of cash buyers, too, so we're having most every clunker prospect, people that come in, qualify to buy, either pay cash or be able to get the financing.
Now, initially, you were a bit skeptical about this program, weren't you?
Well, that's exactly the reason why. A person driving a $1,000 or $600 car, you wonder how good their credit is. Why are they driving that car? It turned out these were second and third cars, sometimes cars that have been given to grandchildren and children, which are still in their name. Now they can take the car back from the grandchild and trade it in for a brand new car for the grandchild. And
what do you expect this month to be like? Until Labor Day, possibly the money, the $2 billion extra, will allow folks to take advantage of the opportunity over the next 4 weeks. Are you afraid that the money might run out, that you just might be inundated with too many customers?
I'm afraid of that. The pace started out so fast, it's too soon to say, but if it continues at the pace we've seen so far today, it definitely won't last until Labor Day. It'll be out well before that because we're exceeding the pace we did when the program first started.
Okay, Jerry, let me bring you into the equation here. So there are some unintended risks here, right? I mean, we just heard, that initially he was a little concerned that a lot of people may not be able to qualify, but in fact, many of these customers could qualify. So what are the other risks?
Well, I have to tell you, it is all about the money, and that's what I'm focusing on. Look, cash for clunkers can give you a nice boost if you're looking to get a more efficient car. But no matter what the incentive is, you really have to make sure you can afford that new car in the first place. Let me just show you a little example here. If you buy a car, average price tag on the car about $26,000. Let's say you get the most you can from the government, $4,500. That reduces your cost to $21,500. If you finance it over 4 years, you pay 7% interest. Your monthly nut is $514 just for the car. And so you've got to be able to make sure you can afford it, that it's something that you can really take advantage of. Remember, cars aren't like houses. They don't increase in value over time. They get into accidents. You don't know for sure if it will be around another 20 years. Unlikely that it would. It's a product that's constantly losing value. So the idea here, don't overextend yourself. Make sure you can afford that. And I'm sure, as Earl says, there are people out there who can take advantage of it, but there are also those who might be involved in this program now who, maybe they shouldn't be extending themselves right now.
So perhaps you have some advice for folks who are anxious to hit the dealerships this weekend. What questions do they need to ask? What should their expectations be?
Well, number one, just don't buy a car that's not within your budget limitations. Let's face it, $26,000 is a whole lot of money. You can get a Honda Fit for about half the cost. And don't forget to negotiate with the dealer. Last time Earl and I were speaking together on this, he said, yeah, negotiate. Well, just because you're getting incentives from the government, that's no reason to think you still can't haggle on price. And make sure you look at the dealerships that are offering incentives on top of what Uncle Sam is offering, because there are a lot of them doing that too. Frederica?
All right, Jerry, thanks so much. Earl, before I let you go, what perhaps are the questions that some of the customers are asking you? And are they negotiating?
Yes, they're negotiating, but let me say I agree with the former commenter because I don't think they're negotiating hard enough. They should get at least 3 competitive bids on the car. One thing I recommend that they do is keep the clunker out of the equation. Don't tell them about the clunker trade-in. When a dealer sees that $4,500, it's like dollar signs to him. It's profit. Negotiate for the car just as if you weren't going to trade in a vehicle, and then when you get the best price after getting 3 competitive bids, then spring the clunker on them and say, okay, here's my qualified clunker. Take another $4,500 off the price you gave me.
Fantastic. Earl, you are looking out for your customers who are going to be inundating you this weekend. That's great advice.
Are we going to do this reading?
I appreciate it. Earl Stewart, Jerry Willis, thanks so much to both of you. Appreciate that.
Thank
and perhaps
you
still have some questions about...